Happy 4th of July, everybody. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Hope you're all enjoying your holiday and you're having a fantastic week as you get set for the weekend. Coming up on today's show, we have the latest on Brandon Aiyuk. According to Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network, the Niners and Aiyuk no closer to a contract with training camp coming up on July 23rd. I first want to start off with this poll question here. You had Deebo Samuel during the 2022 offseason who was looking for a new deal, and now modern day as Brandon Aiyuk is also looking for a contract. So who had the more dramatic offseason in looking for a bag? Was it Deebo Samuel type DS or was it Brandon Aiyuk type BA? Let me know down in the comment section right now. Here's the latest on Brandon Aiyuk. And throughout this offseason, we have heard from a bunch of different NFL insiders as far as the latest on the Aiyuk front. Adam Schefter of ESPN, Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, Mike Silver on the local front for the San Francisco Chronicle, and then Mike Garafolo also of the NFL Network. And for the crowd that says, Chase, find something else to talk about. This is ridiculous. You're beating this into the ground. Let us know when Aiyuk actually signs. Well, when he actually signs, I will. But we also talk about different things here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. Check the receipts. Look at the channel history. Also on top of that, though, it's a huge story that we have to discuss here on the Niners front because this is pivotal for now and in the future as far as the importance that Aiyuk has for this offense and the importance that he plays for the future of this organization. And this offseason alone, look at what Brandon Aiyuk has stirred up. His friend first said after the Super Bowl loss to Kansas City, he's going to play for the Las Vegas Raiders. Then his girlfriend said that his Niners tenure could be over. Aiyuk tweeted directly at Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. He took to Instagram to put up some subtle stories from time to time. He said on TikTok with Jaden Daniels, the Commanders quarterback, that the Niners don't want him any longer. And then on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor, he name-dropped specifically the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Commanders as two teams he would like to get traded to if he can't get a deal done with the San Francisco 49ers. It's not like he's remained quiet this offseason, so Brandon Aiyuk has caused some of these talking points. He's made me continue to talk about him. As for the latest on Aiyuk, here's what Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network said. Is Aiyuk going to be with the Niners long term, or is he not going to be with the Niners long term? That's the big question. Is he going to have to play out this year? He has alluded to the fact that he thinks he's going to be with the Niners in some form or fashion in 2024. If not, with the Commanders or with the Steelers. For Aiyuk and the Niners, they had conversations recently. They are no closer to a deal from my understanding, but they are also no closer to a trade request. That's never been something that he has explored in this case. Besides, he's got to get back to work sometime before training camp to see if they can get something done. A couple of takeaways from that. It's, of course, good that there's been no trade request and both sides have an amicable relationship and they've maintained some communication. That beats the alternative here of a player being irked. A player demanding or requesting a trade, a player not talking to the team and wanting out. Remember, I disagree with the Niners' strategy of waiting to pay some of their players because they risk the marketplace going up. And in this case, this offseason, the wide receiver market has exploded. But there is still time to get a deal done because you look at the Niners' history here of when they have handed out contract extensions, and literally we're in the fifth straight offseason of this. Back in 2020, George Kittle signed his record-breaking deal. Highest paid contract for a tight end in NFL history, and that deal was not struck until August 13th of 2020. The following offseason, not a lot of drama with Fred Warner, but he became the highest paid off-ball linebacker in the NFL. on July 21st of 2021. Deebo Samuel got his deal done after he was a hold-in at training camp on July 31st of 2022. And then Nick Bosa took the longest because of all of the money at play as he became the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of football. And he originally did not report to training camp and then got a deal done just a couple of days before the season opener on September 6th of 2023. The Niners do not start training camp until the 23rd later this month, so that is the timeline for when I expect the deal to get done, and there is still time to get that deal done. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, because when and if an Aiyuk extension happens, we're going to discuss it right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. And while we're here, I want to say thank you to the faithful. We surpassed 134,000 subscribers right here on this channel. We're the largest independently run Niners channel on YouTube. So if you're looking for shows every single day that are entertaining, informative, insightful, that involve you, hit that sub button, San Francisco. To the next portion of this conversation. Is Brandon Aiyuk frustrated with how things have gone this offseason as he looks for a new deal and he's looking at this wide receiver market exploding? Other wideouts at his position who are lesser players than him are getting paid, and Aiyuk has not secured the bag yet. It's easy to see why he would feel that way. He wants to be a Niner. He wants to get a bag. Other receivers are getting paid lucrative contracts, and Aiyuk's looking around saying, not only am I not getting a deal when other players at my position are getting paid, but some of my teammates with the 49ers are getting new contracts, and they're not as good as me. They haven't been as valuable as me. But I do have an issue with the stance that Aiyuk is taking in saying that he feels disrespected when some of these Aiyuk contract offers have been made public. Because Brandon Aiyuk has made things public a lot this offseason, and those around him have made things public. His best friend saying that Aiyuk is going to be a Raider. His girlfriend saying that his days with the Niners could be over. Him directly tweeting at Mike Tomlin. Him taking to social media to voice his frustration, saying on TikTok the Niners don't want him any longer. Then he made things public by going on the Pivot podcast. So there's been some chatter that Aiyuk doesn't like how things have kind of transpired, and then he made that public on the Pivot podcast. Albert Breer reported recently that the Niners have been in that $26 million per year range in their offer for Aiyuk, and Aiyuk said it's frustrating that those numbers have been leaked, and he alluded to those leaks as disrespectful, which I just noted. And I take issue with this because it's an LOL laugh out loud moment for me. Aiyuk can pull off all of these social media shenanigans, and it's all good, right? But then the Niners let their offer be known, and they leaked that to reporters. They do their job in reporting that, and Aiyuk's like, I don't like that. That's disrespectful. But Aiyuk has caused some of this drama by himself. And I get that Aiyuk is trying to get paid. He deserves it. Last year, he was a top 10 wide receiver in the game, a second-team All-Pro, who every year that he's been in the NFL has gotten better and better and better and better. But just like relationships and relationship problems, when oftentimes it's both sides who are to blame, this is also a two-way street where Aiyuk is to blame and the Niners are to blame. And hopefully they can iron things out and at some point get a deal done, because it's best for both parties for that to happen. As for what Aiyuk said about these contract negotiations, he admitted it's a dirty game. And he recognized it's a dirty game. He said that directly. He also said, so I just feel like for me, social media is a way for myself to leverage me and my team, to leverage myself and to leverage what I've been trying to get, because that's the way to get the message out there. That's the way to get the facts out there, and the facts are the facts. If the Niners do hold firm on that $26 million per year number, a big question for a lot of people unfamiliar with the situation, where does that rank Aiyuk among other wide receivers? Pretty damn good. He would still be a top 7 or 8 wide receiver in the National Football League, depending on how big that deal would be. Now, Aiyuk might want around $30 million because he saw Justin Jefferson get $35 million in average annual value, but Aiyuk is not the player of Justin Jefferson. He's not the player of A.J. Brown. He might be more well-rounded, though, than Tyreek Hill, so he can make that argument at the negotiating table. He could say, look, I haven't gotten the targets of Amon-Ra St. Brown, but if I did, my production would be better, and I should be getting $30 million per year like the Detroit Lions all-pro wide receiver. I just don't get as many ample opportunities because we're a run-heavy offense. I think that Aiyuk is better than Jalen Waddle, which is why I think personally the Niners should give Aiyuk about $28 million per year, and if that were the case, I think a deal gets done. But then you look at that next tier, Davante Adams' deal is outdated. He's worth more than $28 million, even at his age. Cooper Kupp is probably worth more than $26.7 with what he's meant to that Rams offense. Aiyuk is better than Devontae Smith in my estimation, and Smith is making $25 million per season. And then Nico Collins at $24.25 and DK Metcalf at $24 even. Guaranteed money, of course, is also going to play a role in this conversation too. And I'm interested to see how much Aiyuk gets. Now, in average annual value, he's going to overtake Deebo Samuel, who's right around that $24 million per year number. And in guaranteed money, you see Deebo Samuel making the 10th most money as far as guaranteed cash among all wide receivers. And Aiyuk has been better, more durable, more consistent, more productive, and healthier. He's also the younger player than Deebo Samuel. So, yes, he should make more in guaranteed money and more in average annual value. I'm fascinated to see if the Niners are willing to go up from their price or if Aiyuk is willing to go down. Still got a couple of weeks, I think, until this deal gets done. How much will Aiyuk get paid per year by the San Francisco 49ers? Let me know down in the comment section right now. That is the big question.